Welcome to Oak Tree Stories, timeless tales rooted in India. Here you'll find gentle, thoughtful tales drawn from our rich storytelling traditions, from ancient fables and folklore to heartwarming slices of modern Indian life. Each story is carefully chosen and lovingly crafted to be age appropriate and calming, with just a touch of wonder. So come, get cozy, and let the story begin. Hi, I'm Shalini, your storyteller. Before we begin today's story, it's time for this week's special artist shout-out. This one comes from Ved, who is 7 years old and lives in Bangalore. Ved sent us a beautiful drawing inspired by our story, The River Between Them. In his picture, Anil is fishing at the river and Rohit is walking along the banks with his grandfather. Ved's mother wrote to us saying, no day is complete without stories for Ved, whether it's from books, from his parents' imagination, or from Oak Tree Stories. Ved has to have stories as a part of his day. That made us smile. Ved says The River Between Them is one of his favorite stories because it's very interesting. And we feel very honored to be part of his everyday world of stories. Thank you so much, Ved. Your drawing is proudly shared on our Oak Tree Stories social media pages. If you'd like to send in a drawing or a painting inspired by one of our stories, then listen till the end and we'll tell you just how to. And if your child loves stories too, not just listening to them, but imagining themselves inside one, we've been creating something very special. We now offer personalized commissioned stories, stories written especially for your child. They may be about bravery, about friendship, about a big change in their life, or simply about a small moment you want to remember. Each one is written slowly and thoughtfully, shaped around the child it's meant for. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the details on our website at www.oaktreebooks.in/Oak Tree Stories. And now, today's story. The tale you're about to hear comes from Karnataka. It's about a merchant, a horse, and a goat, and something much more important than any of those. It's about what happens when you stop trusting what you see, and what happens when someone clever decides to teach a lesson. Today's story is called The Horse That Became a Goat. So find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and let's begin. In a busy trading city, there lived a merchant. He had only one eye, and so people called him Kannu, the one-eyed man. They thought it was funny, but those who dealt with him knew better. Because Kannu, the one-eyed man, saw more clearly than most people. Kannu bought and sold horses. He knew their temper, their strength, the sound of their hooves on stone. He could tell a good horse from a bad one by the way it galloped. He had 2 sons who had grown up among saddles and dust and early mornings. But knowing horses and selling horses are not quite the same thing. One summer, Kannu fell ill. For several days, he could not leave his bed. His business could not wait forever. So, he called his elder son. Take the grey stallion to market, he said. Watch carefully, speak less, listen more. The boy felt proud. This was his first time going alone. He led the strong grey horse towards the city. Not far along the road, a man leaning against a wall called out casually, "Where are you taking that goat?" The boy stopped. "Goat?" he said. "This is a horse." The man shrugged. "Fine, if you say so." The boy walked on, puzzled but unbothered. A little further ahead, another man squinted at the animal. "That's a large goat," he said. The boy frowned. "It is not a goat," he replied. The man laughed softly and walked away. At the next turn stood two more men. "What a drab grey goat," one said, shaking his head. The other added, "Poor goat, just stick and bones, having to walk all the way to the market." The boy's grip tightened on the reins. He looked at the animal. It neighed, it stamped. It was clearly a horse. Wasn't it? He walked faster. But before reaching the market, another man stopped him. He wore a strange-looking hat and had a gold earring in one of his ears. He smiled widely at the boy. "I'll give you 20 silver coins for that goat," he offered kindly. "More than it's worth, honestly." 5 people had now called the animal he was walking a goat. 5! The boy's certainty began to wobble. Could 5 people be wrong? What if he truly had made a mistake? What if he walked into the market and everyone laughed? The horse tossed its head. The boy swallowed. 20? He asked. 20, the man said, already reaching for the reins. The boy took the money and walked home confused. When Kannu saw the 20 silver coins, he did not shout. He asked quietly, "How many legs did the horse have this morning?" 4, said the boy. "Did it bleat?" "No." "Did it eat hay?" "Yes." Kannu nodded slowly. "And at what point," he asked gently, "did it become a goat?" The boy's eyes filled with shame. "They all said it was," he whispered. Kannu said nothing more, but he listened very carefully. A week later, when he was strong again, Kannu chose the oldest horse in his stable. It was thin. Its coat was dull. Its ribs showed faintly beneath the skin. No one would look at it twice. Before leaving, Kannu slipped 4 silver coins carefully into the horse's mouth, tucking them between its teeth. Then he set out for the same road. On the way, he saw a man wearing a strange-looking hat and a gold earring in one of his ears. He called out loudly, "Horse for sale! Rare horse for sale!" The man looked at the animal and laughed. "That creature," he said, "it can barely stand." Kannu shrugged. Not everyone can see its value. The man stepped closer. "What do you mean?" he asked. "What value?" Kannu leaned near the horse's ear and gave it a small squeeze. Startled, the horse jerked its head. 4 silver coins clattered onto the road. The man froze. "Every day," Kannu said calmly. "The horse gives 4 silver coins every day if it's happy." The man picked up the coins. Real silver. His heart began to race. "And if it is very happy?" he asked greedily. Kannu shrugged. "On very happy days, it gives even more." The man looked at the horse. It still looked weak, but perhaps that was the secret. Perhaps the old merchant was pretending it was worthless. Perhaps this was his chance. "What is the price?" he asked quickly. 1,000 silver coins, Kannu replied. The man hesitated. 1,000 was a great deal of money. But 4 coins a day meant steady profit. And what if it gave more? Greed speaks softly, but very convincingly. He handed over 1,000 silver coins to Kannu. Kannu handed over the reins without argument. By midday, the man was in the market. proudly announcing, "Look at my magical horse, a horse that gives silver coins." He squeezed its ear. Nothing happened. He squeezed harder. The horse blinked and flicked its tail. He tugged at its bridle. Still nothing. People began to gather. "Where are the coins?" someone asked. Sweat gathered on his forehead. He tried again. Nothing. Laughter began quietly, then grew louder. Kannu stepped forward. "My son once walked this road with a horse," he said evenly. 5 men told him it was a goat. After hearing it often enough, he began to doubt what he saw. The crowd grew silent. Kannu looked at the man. "Today you saw 4 coins and believed a weak horse was magical." The man understood. The crowd understood. "A horse is a horse," Kannu said calmly. "A goat is a goat, and coins do not grow in mouths." The laughter this time was not cruel. It was of understanding. From that day on, no one on that road called a horse a goat. And no one believed an old horse could spit silver. As for Kannu's son, he learned something worth far more than 20 coins. If your eyes tell you something, trust them. And that was the horse that became a goat. It's a story about doubt and how easily it can grow when we hear the same thing again and again. The horse never changed. It was always a horse. But when enough voices said otherwise, even what was obvious began to feel uncertain. And later, when greed took over, a weak old horse suddenly seemed magical. Sometimes the clearest sight is not about having 2 eyes. It is about trusting the one you have. If your child has drawn a picture inspired by one of our stories, we would love to see it. You can send it to us through the art submission form on our website www.oaktreebooks.in/OaktreeStories. And if you enjoy listening to Oak Tree Stories, you can support the podcast through a small contribution on our website. Every bit of support helps us keep telling stories slowly and thoughtfully. Until next time, keep listening, keep wondering, and trust what you know to be true.